Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, if you haven't heard, New York Comic Con happened over the weekend, and guess what? There was a whole lot of stuff revealed, especially when it comes to the DC universe out there. James Gunn was on hand revealing all kinds of things, whether it be Superman, Supergirl, Creature Commandos, or a whole bunch of stuff going on out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get right to it because we've got some Supergirl spoiler confirmations. Ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of rumor confirmation about a lot of people out there, and technically a spoiler alert in case you're worried about having some details about some of the stuff for the Supergirl out there announced for you, and that's exactly what we're going to get into right over here. So spoiler warning is officially alerted out there in case you don't want to know anything about the Supergirl movie, but needless to say, we're going to go and check all of this stuff out there because as you can see here from cosmicbook.news, James Gunn drops Supergirl spoiler and confirms Ruth Eye. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to check out this article from cosmicbook.news, getting all of the juicy details and see exactly what we've got going on here. Before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Are you much like I am, where a DC fanboy who's a little bit cautiously optimistic about what the future of DC holds over there at Warner Bros. Under the helm of James Gunn and Peter Safran? Or are you one of our many fans out there who are an absolute hashtag fire James Gunn kind of situation? You can't stand to do any of this kind of stuff and you want no part of it? Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. So from cosmicbook.news. While appearing at the New York City Comic Con for Creatures Commandos, James Gunn updated the DCU slate and talked about the Supergirl, where he dropped a spoiler and confirmed the character of Ruth. The actress playing Ruth has yet to be announced, but Gunn did confirm he saw the recent screen test. Gunn also talked about the Superman trailer and how David Cornsweet is going to blow people away. We're going to get into all of that in another video, but I love a lot of this fan art. Shout out to all the AI artists out there doing a great job. So the screen test for Ruth with Mil Alcock as Supergirl, which obviously she's the chick from the first season of House of the Dragon. Cute girl. Could be very interesting to see how she ends up doing with the Supergirl. I think she did a good job in House of the Dragon. I'll be curious to see how she ends up pulling off a Supergirl out there. So Gunn also confirmed shooting starts at the start of this year. Anne and Craig, the writer and director, have been doing a fantastic job spearheading this. We start shooting in England in January. Obviously, got to get them UK tax credits. I don't blame you. Warner Brothers is broke. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I just saw the screen test for Ruth with Millie Alcock, you know, who's playing Supergirl. Ah, there you go. And it sounds like they probably already got the actress picked out for Ruth as well, but of course, we don't know who that is just yet. So Gunn says the pitch is one of the best he's heard and the script gets better and better. Oh my God, I'm so excited. There's another project that's been blessed from the beginning. Anne came in and she pitched to me the story of Supergirl, and it was just one of the best pitches I've ever heard. And she immediately wrote it. She came in with the first draft that was great, and she's just gotten better and better. So it sounds like at least James Gunn's very cautiously very optimistic about it. He seems to love what he's seen so far. As to whether or not you can take James Gunn's opinion, that's all completely and totally up to you. But at the end of the day, from what we've seen so far between the casting of Superman and everything we've seen out of the trailer from Creatures Commandos, which if you haven't seen the trailer, it was released at the San Diego Comic-Con. I highly recommend it. It looks really good. It has me very cautiously optimistic about what the future of DC holds. And I am a DC fanboy. I want good quality DC content coming out of Warner Brothers. I want to be a happy fan out there. So we'll have to see what happens. But at least, if nothing else, James Gunn seems enthusiastic and excited about that. And we're not hearing a bunch of nonsense about diversity, inclusion, and equity. So at least that's a good sign going forward. So Gunn dropped another spoiler and says the movie fits with the comic book story and the character of Supergirl is a mess. And then Craig has been incredibly easy to work with. I can't wait for that one to come out. It's very much based on Tom King's comic, Woman of Tomorrow. There are, of course, differences because it's a 3-act structure. So it's a little bit different in the structure, which goes through various stories. But it all has those major characters, the major themes. Supergirl is a mess. It's something I can't wait for people to see. I think it's a completely different, unique take on a superhero. Now, that's one of them situations where, and whether or not you have issues with Tom King, which a lot of the comic book industry definitely does, and rightly so. And obviously that's one of the other things that's kind of been a red flag for a lot of comic book fans out there as far as being excited about the DC universe, because he is working with Tom King. And we know Tom King is responsible for some serious disastrous dumpster fires inside of the DC universe. But at the end of the day, we'll have to see what ends up happening with this. I think this could actually end up being interesting. I don't like the idea of a different, unique take on a superhero, because that we've seen what kind of garbage that has given us over the years. So at the end of the day, we'll have to end up seeing what this actually ends up coming out to. But as of right now, James Gunn's excited, and you know what? At least that's a good thing. Supergirl gets released on June 26th. Matthew Scorsese is playing the villain, Krem of the Yellow Hills. Gunn has also recently confirmed Krypto for a Superman movie. The Supergirl comic also features Krypto, so Krypto's probably going to be in there. So who is Ruth Mae Knoll? In the DC Comics, Ruth is the central character in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, an 8-issue miniseries written by Tom King with art by Bill Evely. Introduced in the series, Ruth is an alien girl seeking justice for the murder of her father. Her story becomes intertwined with Kara Zor-El, aka Supergirl, and Krypto as they embark on a cosmic quest across the galaxy. Ruth narrates much of the series, offering a fresh perspective on Supergirl's journey. Now, that could be very interesting. It also sounds like it could end up being a very expensive movie if they decide to go with like the whole Earth going out into the space storyline, going out there across the galaxy and stuff like that. I'd imagine, considering Warner Brothers' current budget constraints right now, that this will probably still end up being an Earth-based movie, and they'll end up being more on the planet, on planet side versus being out there in the galaxy just because of cost out there. Doing space stuff is expensive. So the series, which ran from June 21st to February 22nd, that's another big red flag right there, was praised for its unique narrative and stunning artwork, drawing comparisons to the storylines of Sandman. It was nominated for the Eisner Award. Once again, that's just more of like self-congratulating stuff inside of the comic book industry. They're essentially just each other off. So not really, don't really count that for much. Ruth's quest for justice and her partnership with Supergirl provide the emotional core of the story, making her a standout character in the Woman of Tomorrow saga, is what they said about that one. So I don't know. This is the information we've got. This is all the information we've got on Supergirl so far. James Gunn has let some stuff leak out there as to whether or not this stuff makes you more cautiously optimistic, makes you this optimistic at all, or if you're just not trusting James Gunn in any way, shape, or form. I have no idea, but I'd sure as hell like to hear about it in the comment section down below. This honestly doesn't do anything for me either way. I like the fact that James Gunn is excited. Generally, when creatives are actually excited about something and they're talking about the source material and they're talking about the characters involved and they're not talking about diversity, inclusion, and equity, that's generally a good sign. Now, as to whether or not this is going to be an accurate representation and make the fans happy, that is something it'll only be a matter of time before we find out. But at the end of the day, this is the news we've got so far. I'm cautiously optimistic about the future of the DCU, and who knows, we might end up getting an actually good Supergirl movie. And at the end of the day, though, either way, Warner Brothers and James Gunn, you will get exactly what you deserve. Be smart. Make the fans happy.